My mother, Eloise, could feed a church with 2 casseroles and a prayer. She passed in May, and the fellowship hall smelled like coffee, lilies, and butter as people lined up to remember her. I'm 53, old enough to know every casserole dish by its owner. The blue speckled one is Mrs. Tyler's. The glass one with the chip belongs to Deacon Roy. Pastor Jim asked us to pick Mom's favorite hymns. She always loved Great is Thy Faithfulness, my Aunt Marla said, dabbing her eyes. I went to the pews to grab a hymnal. They're all the same: maroon covers, dog-eared pages, crumbs from 1,000 communion wafers ground into the spine. I opened to hymn 247. Out slid a folded paper, brittle as pie crust, a marriage certificate dated June 3rd, 1971. The names were clear: Eloise Harper and Randall Pierce. My Aunt Marla's fiancé at the time was Randall Pierce. I stared till the black letters blurred. Mom married my aunt's fiancé, but my mother's husband, my father, was Thomas Ward. Wed August 1972. That was local legend. High school sweethearts who made it real after Dad got stable at the quarry. I slid the paper back like it was a live wire. The hymnal felt heavy, cursed. I carried it to the side room and texted my sister June. Come here. Bring a poker face. She read it and went white. Aunt Marla will die, she whispered. Or kill. We folded the certificate into my coat pocket and sang, Great is Thy Faithfulness, with voices that shook. After the service, while the men wrapped chairs, June and I drove to Mom's house. In her cedar chest, beneath crocheted doilies and the good tablecloth, we found a green shoebox labeled Mementos, Do Not Toss. Inside, prom photos, napkins from a diner date, and a letter addressed to My Girls. June, Lila, if you found this, I went home to the Lord, and you've already eaten more potato salad than any person should. I need to tell you the truth about 1971 before someone else tells a meaner version. I married Randall in June of 71. I was 20, foolish, and in love with a man who was in love with the way the whole town looked at him. Your Aunt Marla and I weren't speaking. She had called off their engagement after finding lipstick on his collar. Not mine that time. And said she was done with boys who thought they were the sun. Randall came to me crying about second chances and God's plan. I believed him. We got married across the state line, quick and quiet. 2 weeks later, I learned what Marla already knew. Randall loved an audience more than any woman. When he raised his hand to me the first time, I packed a bag and ran to Marla's. I laid the certificate on her kitchen table and said, Do what you want with me. I'm done with him. She made me eggs and said, We'll annul it, and we won't speak of this again. We did. I swore I'd never let a man make me small again. Next summer I married your father, who has his faults. We all do, but he never once made me scared to come home. If the truth comes out, remember this. Marla forgave me when I could not forgive myself. If folks talk, let them. They weren't there when my sister put a plate in front of me and a roof over my head. I love you, Mama. June let out a breath she'd been holding since the hymn. So Aunt Marla knew. All this time, we drove to Marla's. She was at the kitchen table with a jar of pickled okra and the church bulletin. I laid the certificate in front of her, then Mom's letter. She read without expression. When she finished, she folded the letter carefully, pressed it to her lips, and set it down. I told Eloise I'd take this to my grave, she said. Looks like we share the load now. Why did you forgive her? I asked, still half a child, expecting the grown-ups to explain the weather. Marla snorted softly. Because I knew Randall and I knew my sister. The math wasn't hard. He ran on charm like a lawnmower on gas. She ran on love and belief. He siphoned from whoever was closest. Did he ever, I began, raise a hand to me? Number, but only because I'd have broken his fingers, she said, eyes flashing. Eloise had a softer spine back then. I loaned her some of mine. We sat with the past spread out like tax papers. Finally, I asked the question that had started clanging in my head the moment I saw the date. Is there any chance that I'm... Marla met my eyes. Number, your daddy is your daddy. Your mother left Randall before there was anything to wonder about. She loved Thomas like a porch, steady, shaded, always there. Relief ran through me like warm water. Still, a new ache settled in. My mother had held this secret under her tongue for 50 years, swallowing every gossip and every communion wafer over it. We decided to keep the truth in the family, but small towns are sieves. 2 days later, Deacon Roy dropped by with a ham and the kind of face that means I heard something, and I'm here to hear it from you. I told him enough to make the rumors honest, that Mom had a quick marriage in 71 that was annulled, that Aunt Marla saved her life, that Dad knew and chose love over pride. Dad? Yes, we asked him that night. He sat in his recliner, hands steepled. I knew she married him, he said. Eloise told me on our second date. Said, if you can't handle it, I'll handle leaving first and save us both the trouble. I told her a man is the way he shows up, and I planned on showing up till the Lord told me stop. He smiled, small and proud, and I did. At church the next Sunday, Pastor Jim chose hymn 247. He didn't know, but we did. When we sang Morning by Morning, New Mercies I See, I saw them. My mother arriving on her sister's porch with a bruise and a folded paper. My aunt choosing protection over pride. My father marrying a truth, not a story. After service, Marla tucked the certificate back into the hymnal. Not to hide it, she said, but to archive it. Some secrets rot in the dark, she told me. This one can sit in the light. If some young woman opens to 247 and finds it, maybe she'll choose a porch over a spotlight too. We put Mom's letter in a frame near the family photos. People read it at the wake and said things like, your mama had grit. They were right, she did. She borrowed some from her sister when she was empty, then grew her own till she could give it away. The town still talks. Towns do. But when they do, they also remember the casseroles, the quilts, the way my mother slipped gas money into envelopes and wrote, for your trip, don't argue on the flap. A life is bigger than its worst moment. Sometimes the proof is right there, between hymn 246 and hymn 248.